Hey guys, so if you searched myofascial release, that's probably a term that you've heard many people say, and you've tried foam rollers and trigger point therapy and stuff like that, and it's all exploration, and that's great. But I'm here to teach you how to kind of strip your whole body and give yourself a chance for just balance between the front and back, top and bottom, and give yourself a chance to experience less tension in different parts of your body. So without further ado, it's nice to have two sets of balls, and this is a really good set here. You can take them out of this little bag or put them in. Having them together is good in certain spots of your body. Having them separate is good in other parts. So we're actually going to start with the balls outside of the bag, and we're going to start underneath your feet because that's where your posterior chain starts. So it looks something like this. You're going to stand like you have high heels on. For the ladies, that's a little bit easier to understand. And from here, you're just gonna float. Just starting at the balls of your feet. Give a little bit of a bounce there at the ankle. You can see me moving at the ankle. That just gives the muscle a reason to be stimulated a little bit while you're working through, almost like you're kneading dough, working through that muscle. So you wanna find tension. You know, this should be a little bit painful. It should be about a 4 or 7 out of 10. If it's a 2, that's okay, but I bet there's some pain in there that you can find. Then we're gonna work towards the arch of the foot for about 15 to 20 seconds. It's good to have a stopwatch here because 20 seconds could turn into 45, and you do that all the way up your body. This is gonna take a lot longer than it needs to be. So I'm on some good pain right here. I'm gonna give another 3 seconds. And then come off of those easily, okay? Got a little dirty there. That's okay. Now we're gonna work the calves. This is one way to do it. So you can put the ball just underneath or kind of in a spot where you might feel tension in your calves. And you're just gonna kind of sit onto it. And then rock back and forth. This is a good move to do before squatting. Give your calves a reason to have just a little bit of like lubrication and movement. It's not like a major massage, but if you can get, like I can get to the lateral side of my calf and totally feel where there's tension in there. And I know we all have it. Anybody that would get a good calf massage would be in some good pain. And I say good pain because I'm a bit of a freak. You have to like this pain. It's kind of weird. Okay, so you just kind of rock back and forth. Maybe you can kind of get up on your toes, side to side. And meanwhile, you're working some ankle mobility. My right side's a little more messy than my left, so I'll kind of work that direction. Okay, from there, since we have the balls out of the bag, we're gonna get into the glutes, okay? So these are your stabilizers, your lateral abductors and rotators of your hip. It's never a bad idea to kind of get in there and give them some blood and stimulation. So the way to do that is you're on your back here. The leg that you want to work is straight. You're going to start with this ball on your hip bone, your ASIS, and roll just below that, about an inch, and roll it over to the side, tuck it under, and then flip over onto it. Okay, from here, you're just gonna work east to west with your hips. And that's a nice trigger point and good attention to a muscle that can be, I don't wanna say tight, but just doesn't get a whole lot of attention throughout the day. Let's say you've never felt this before, so it's been your whole life without having any of this massage or stimulation in there. And we're just trying to make this supple or a little more elastic to be used. All right, and then you can actually roll forward, get closer to your TFL. That's good too. I know it looks a little funny, kind of moving my hips on the ground here. Then you can work towards the back. You're gonna put that ball between your hip bone and your sacrum. There's some good meat in there that can get a little messy, and usually responds well to this attention. And as you open and close your hip, you can kind of just move the hips a little bit, so it becomes a bit of a circus trick here, but you'll find tension, no doubt about it. And just play with it a little bit. There's no like set answer on how to do this, but in an area about the size of your fist, you can really find different degrees of tension, and this just brings a little flow to it and asks it to work in its function. So we've already started at the bottom of the foot and we're working our way up. Now we're already at the center of our body. Now getting closer down to where my sit bone is. And I'm pretty sure I'm working through my glute max a little bit. It doesn't really matter which muscle you're working through. It's more of a general area. You don't have to be so precise with this. You don't need to know all of your anatomy and all the names of the muscle. But if you can know the difference between good pain and embracing it, you'll have a nice experience. Okay? That's a good start there. Then I like to kind of go into a pigeon pose. Just give that muscle a reason to feel a little more length. Okay? From there, we're gonna put the balls back in the bag and get to the front side of the quads. Okay? Typically, these are very tight on a lot of people. They will be on me as well. Okay, so you're gonna be in, I guess I'll start on this side. On your stomach, and your hips are gonna be rotated. You see people do foam roller like this, but now we're gonna just lay on it. So you're actually not even gonna really work that much with your upper body. Your arm's gonna be back behind you. Your leg will be up here. This is a recovery position. Okay, so you're gonna find tension on that lateral quad, and this frees up a lot of people's knee pain. A lot of times your quadricep muscles really just kind of pull on your knee cap and your knee joint, and it causes like an imbalance there down at the knee. It's not typically anything wrong. It's just muscle just kind of yanking on that joint, and the knee is the one that takes all the pain. It's not usually the one that's causing the problem. You're just gonna pump. If you're good at it, you can use your breathing. So you inhale and exhale, inhale, exhale. If you don't have these balls, you can, my Grandma Button taught me when I was younger, you can put 2 tennis balls and a pair of pantyhose, tie them up, so then you just have 2 balls and pantyhose, and it looks similar to the tools that I have here. So that's just like your DIY. I'm working down my quad. It's a long muscle and it's dense. So you might end up spending a minute and a half, especially if this is new. It should hurt a little bit. I'm gonna get the most out of this as well, so you can kind of watch how I embrace the feeling of it. Once you get beyond the deep pain, so this is probably like 1 or 2 out of 10, it's light. Okay, just kind of finish it up, and then from there, we're gonna go to the VMO. This is sometimes you see that's a big chunk of muscle on some people, especially hockey players. Okay, we're gonna put kind of in the same position here, but the leg that was up to the side is now the leg that you're massaging. So you're just gonna kind of put that, maybe it'd be better if there was a ball out of the bag, but just for efficiency's sake, we're just gonna keep it right in there. And you can kind of go north to south. See how far that muscle actually runs up into your leg. I mean, you'll learn a lot about the attachment of your muscle when you find it, and keep running it. This is my workout for today. I'm not gonna do a whole lot more. I don't usually go running most of the time I hit the weights, but the gyms are closed, and I'm gonna spend more time doing some administrative work within the, in the next 3 or 4 weeks. But if I don't implement this now, it's gonna take more time later on, and I'm no doubt gonna start to feel pain in my upper back, my neck. My shoulders are gonna feel tight, my hips are gonna feel tight. I'm not gonna feel the blood running through my body, and I'm gonna feel like crap, if I'm honest. And just 1 or 2 days in, I understand my clients even more because they're sitting a lot, and it's not a good deal for you guys. And it ages people quickly, and if you don't get into your body before you sit down, you're gonna have an even bigger battle after work when you have your stress is high, you're worn out, you're mentally tired. If you're mentally tired, how do you then enhance your excitement to then make a huge project out of tapping into your body? That's what I don't understand. So you hear the birds chirping, it's in the morning. I'm doing this now, and then I'm gonna do my work later. So here we are. I want you to then test your squat. I can feel that this right leg has more, almost like it's hot, and it's more like oiled up. It's nice and smooth. Not that I can't get down here with this leg, and we still need to work the adductors, but it's nice and it would be ready to hammer some squats, okay? I'm just gonna work the right side so I don't take all day with this. From here, I'm gonna take the ball back out. I'm gonna go to my back again. I'm gonna work my QL, Quadratus Lumborum. Okay, it's a hip stabilizer, and it's a muscle that can just bark at people, okay? It attaches at the lower part of your rib cage, down to your hip, and I guess part of your lumbar spine. But it just stabilizes the hip right here, okay? You're going to cross your leg, put that ball close to your rib cage at the bottom, and we're gonna just kind of run right through the QL. It's pretty nice. Got to give yourself some time and let this happen. I guess you can hold your head. This is something, if you do it once and you experience benefit, that's great, but it's an art. You have to practice. Once a week is good. It's a good deal. It gives you a chance to do other things. This isn't like necessarily life-changing stuff here, but if it frees up pain, it's gonna change somebody's life, no doubt about it. Or at least gives them the skill to do that themselves and not need to go to a chiropractor, a physio, an osteopath, a massage therapist. You have a whole team of people to help pain, but you're in a position all day to bring that pain back to you. So, what's the definition of that? I don't want to say idiocracy or insanity, but it could be. Ignorance. Or just not owning up to your own actions. Okay, so you run that whole thing. All right, that's kind of nice here. All right, let's take it back to the front. Now we're gonna work through your abs here. We're gonna work through the obliques and the psoas, some of the hip flexors through here. Okay, so you're gonna put the ball on the ground in this area. And just run back and forth a little bit. That is decently tender for me. And if you're feeling pain in your upper back and in your neck, this is a great place to start, actually. Well, I think always start at your feet. But if you can work into your abs and then the muscles that flex at the hip, those are the muscles that are pulling you down towards the ground, causing more necessity for your upper back to work to keep you upright. That's why your back hurts most of the time. So we're just working through the oblique, right there on the side of your abs where it kind of
has that contour. Even if you got a little chub, you can still sometimes feel or see that contour on your side. And it's good to take your time here. I'm doing it for myself, but I'm doing it to instruct you, because too many of you guys just skip this stuff. And even like bodybuilders and like yogis would have benefit from this too. They can massage and then get into their work. They'll be able to feel their muscle even more and discover more muscle. Okay, so that's the oblique portion of it. I'm gonna leave the ball in the bag, and now I'm gonna get my rectus abdominis. So I'm gonna make this quick, but I start from the top. You can spend another 2 minutes here. It's a long muscle group. And no doubt about it, you're gonna feel the density of your six pack, even if it's under some chub and you can't see it. It's muscle, it's still there. Having a six pack is not the definition of health too, by the way. Mental clarity and understanding oneself is the definition of health, if you ask me. There's a lot of people that are ripped, but I don't know if they're happy. Do they have balance in their life? Can they embrace the little things? I don't know. It's not up to me to decide or judge, but people that kill themselves to have a six pack, for what? People that enjoy their life and eat food with family and enjoy themselves, wake up ready to do it again and have a great day, that's the definition of a nice life, if you ask me. Okay, so I'm going all the way down to my pubic bone. A little faster than I wanted to, but now since we're on our stomach, we're gonna go work through the chest. Again, this is a region of the body. Let's say we're in a seated position, all right? We're at the desk, and actually this would be a nice position to be in if your computer was straight on. But if you're not, and it's a little unoptimal, gravity will pull you to the ground, okay? But if it's pulling you down, this muscle is becoming more restricted. And if it's used to being in this restricted position, it's pulling down on your rib cage and on your sternum. That's causing your upper back, your traps, to have more of a reason to work hard to pull you up. If this is released, this can just have a breath of fresh air and just chill a little bit more. And all of a sudden, you're having less tension and less neck pain. It's not that easy, but it can be. The idea of it can be there. And same with your chest. If this is, kind of internally rotating your shoulder a little bit, the imbalance of that is going into your trap, into your infraspinatus, into your rotator cuff muscles. You don't have much of a chance to avoid pain. If you're not having pain yet, it's coming. Okay, so here's a great place to start, right here through the chest. All right, same sort of thing. I'm gonna get on my stomach. I'm gonna start on my left side so you can hear me talk better. Put this leg up to the side so I have an angle at my hips, and I can kind of work through my chest from my sternum. Just kind of start up there in the thick meat of it. And if you can, you're gonna rotate at the shoulder, almost like you're cooking kebab or something, okay? I don't know if you can see that, but my left pec is the one I'm massaging. A little sweaty now, so the ball's kind of sliding, but you're gonna work at the upper portion of your chest, and then pull the ball down or slide up and work middle part of your chest and get the whole piece. You'll start to understand that some of these muscle groups are a lot bigger than you realize. Like, that's a big chunk of muscle, and it doesn't have to be so developed. It's just there from being an adult, from growing. Especially if you hit chest and do push-ups and stuff, get in there, okay? All right, from there, let's go to your back. Okay, so we're gonna work your rhomboids, upper trap, and get a little bit of freedom in that scapula. I can feel that my right chest is more restricted than my left. I just massage my left. So even when I do this, I can feel that I would benefit from getting some blood through here, okay? But that's okay. I'll come back and do it myself later. I don't need a massage therapist for that. So I'm gonna put this ball right around up in here.
Sweaty. Let's see. All right, there it is. I like to put my hand behind my head and just kind of run the scapula from about 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock on the scapula down the backside, 9, 8, 7, and just right around that edge. If you want, you can hold your head so your neck doesn't have to work as much. When you do that, you're upwardly rotating your scapula, which is a nice move, which doesn't happen often in the day unless you're washing your hair, cleaning a window, or calling a taxi. Okay, you get the idea. Right along the scapula, in between your shoulder blade and your spine, okay? Now, from there, we're gonna work into your lat, teres minor, internal rotators of your humerus. Another kind of a sticky point where the best of us have issues with lacking function in that area. So you're going to be on your back. Your arm will be straight up in the air. You're gonna roll the ball right down to the ground. And then you're gonna roll over onto it. And even for myself, it takes me a second to kind of work to find some good pain. You're gonna internally and externally rotate the humerus. And you can kind of work east to west a little bit, just finding your own discomfort and tension in there. Okay, spend 30, 40 seconds here. This is good stuff. I've worked most of my body to this point. Okay, one thing we didn't do is the adductors, but maybe I can make a separate video for that. Now, to kind of wow you a little bit and to get you just to free up some of that tissue that's been eccentrically loaded or locked long, stuff on your back, the reason why a lot of the pain is there. You're gonna put both balls in your hand. You're gonna put them halfway sticking out of your traps and halfway underneath your upper trap. See if I can do this as a sweaty body. You're gonna lift your hips, and you can see that, you can imagine what that actually feels like, having those balls press into your upper traps. Then you're gonna get those moving a bit. That doesn't feel great. And I can feel tension going up through the right side of my neck, but I'm taking it with breathing. Extra range of motion. Oh. Meanwhile, I'm getting a little bridge out of it. Feel that. Okay. All right. That's a good place to start. If you can knock it out in 20 minutes, you can do that before any of your training, and that would just give you more of a deeper experience with your training. But also, let's say you got a busy day coming up. This is like meditation as well. I mean, you could sit in a position and focus, close your eyes, and create intentions for the day, or you could do it through massaging your body and focusing on your breathing and letting tension go. I think that gives you a chance to be your best self for the day. So this is pretty much a total body release. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comments below. I hope this helps some of you. Do it.